Good afternoon. I guess we're at evening now, right? It's 7 o'clock. Wait, it's 8 o'clock. Sorry, it's Friday, y'all. You know how that is. Um, Welcome to our version of ANF Plus this evening. We're going to run down the 7 day forecast, get you caught up on what we're tracking, and also get you caught up on what we are expecting as we head into the weekend. And everybody's looking to make plans to be out and about this weekend. And unfortunately, we're going to see much of the same. We've been dealing with this pattern where the bulk of the day has been dry, but then we start to deal with these scattered showers and storms in the late afternoon and early evening. That's going to be a big part of the forecast heading through the next 48 hours. Here's that boundary, really not doing a whole lot. It's going to be meandering in our area as we head into the weekend, and that's going to lead to at least that potential for some showers and thunderstorms each day of the 7 day forecast. I do want to dial into where we are seeing some rain right now, and you can see that the bulk of the rain is going to be along and north of the I-20 corridor at this moment. Not a whole lot of electricity in our area, but there are some storms that are still firing up in portions of Alabama. We'll have to watch it. Right now, Cleveland County getting a good soaking, a little bit of electricity out in that direction. Zooming into the city, you can see that there are some showers on the north side of town. Folks that are in Buckhead getting some light rain, a little bit more moderate once you head to Smyrna, Marietta, Powder Springs, Dallas, and then off on the east side of the perimeter as well, Stone Mountain. I see some showers in your neck of the woods. Snellville gradually starting to dry out. It's going to be a hallmark of the next few hours. I do think that we'll have another cluster of showers that develops to the south and west, and that could give us another chance of rain closer to 11 midnight. A lot of the guidance has been hinting that this is going to gradually weaken. May get a stray rumble of thunder, but severe weather not likely with this. Those showers will gradually diminish as we head into the early morning hours. And as far as the next couple of days are concerned, I wish that I could take away some of these rain chances. We're still going to be dealing with it, unfortunately, showers and thunderstorms. Tomorrow's the first alert weather day. I actually think tomorrow's going to be a little bit different than most of the days that we've seen this week. I think we could see a burst of moisture in the morning that could give us some rain and some thunderstorms. And then again in the afternoon, those storms could be scattered. But rain chances sticking around through the next 7 days. Here's the hour by hour. And I mentioned some spotty showers tomorrow morning. It's not overwhelming, but I do think that there's going to be the chance for some of it out there. As we get closer to lunchtime, more of that moisture funnels in, and then things start to bubble over as we head into the afternoon. It does look like there's going to be a lot of dry time tomorrow. Sorry, I apologize. I just finished eating dinner, and, life is lifing. But we do expect to see some moisture out there. I think we're going to have a decent amount of dry time for the middle part of the afternoon, but showers and storms will fire up, and I think they'll be a bit scattered. As we head into the overnight hours, we trend a little bit drier, and then we kind of do the same thing on Sunday, where it's partly to mostly cloudy in the morning, not terrible as far as the temperatures are concerned. We see things start to bubble back over as we head into the afternoon. I wouldn't cancel any of my plans for any of this weekend. That's important to note. I know that a lot of times whenever we talk about rain and thunderstorm opportunities, the first thing that everyone wants to do is rearrange their schedule. This isn't that type of situation. These storms are going to be so hit or miss like they've been for the last week. You just kind of need to know a little bit of heads up that they're moving in. And I don't want to push the First Alert Weather app, but it's really good for that because I use it in my own time as far as like my running, my outdoor workouts and stuff like that, because it'll tell me, hey, listen, lightning's 11 miles away. I know that I need to go ahead and get inside, hold off on it until those storms pass. And that's really the method that you're going to want to use this weekend. This isn't going to be overwhelming by any stretch of the imagination, and this isn't atypical. It's summertime, it's July. We get this type of pattern often this time of year. But we want to give you the heads up that that's what we're tracking, and it's not changing over the course of the next week. I think Monday afternoon is going to be a bit bubbly, same for Tuesday, and then again on Wednesday. Some of the model data that we're looking at right now is indicating that sometime between Tuesday and Wednesday we could get a decent burst of moisture that could increase the rainfall totals area-wide. We've already had several areas pick up an inch, 2 inches. We even had one area that had a flood warning today because radar was estimating 2 to 3 inches of rain had fallen in an hour and a half. So something that we'll watch, especially as we head into next week. If the models continue to hint that Tuesday into Wednesday could be a heavy rainfall period, don't be surprised if we throw a first alert on one of those days. For now, it's just going to be that typical unsettled pattern that we've been seeing for the last week. And as far as rainfall totals, now through next Thursday, we're talking about another 2 to 4 inches of widespread rain. that is going to be possible. This is going to be beneficial for us as long as it doesn't come all at once. I know a lot of you have been keeping up with us over the course of the last few weeks. We've been talking about the flash drought that we're in, very, very dry conditions for the bulk of the month of June. We were very, very far below average for the month of June. And so with that extensive dry period with limited moisture, combined with the fact that we had some very dry days, some very hot days, that essentially evaporated all moisture out of the soils. So when you have a flash drought, it typically takes a little bit longer for these rainfall events to actually make a dent in it. So we didn't really see much of a change in the drought monitor on Thursday when we got that new data, but with all of this rain that we have coming over the course of the weekend in different hit or miss locations, I at least expect to gradually see some of that trimming back. I don't think we're going to go to not in a drought at all, but I think that some of the areas like the part of Fulton County, Cobb County, and I think Douglas and Paulding counties that are under that severe drought, I think we could see that dialed back to just a moderate drought. Here's to crossing our fingers for that. Nonetheless, I guess the big takeaway here is that it's going to be a bit thunderous as we push into the afternoon hours for the next 7 days. Tomorrow's the first alert weather day. There's an argument to be made that every day could be one, but at this point we're kind of used to this pattern, so there's nothing really to adapt to. It's more of a continuation of what you've been doing with these afternoon scattered showers and storms. One benefit of having all of this moisture around, all of these storms, all this cloud cover, is that temperatures have trended cooler, whereas we were in the mid to upper 90s. Now those numbers are going to be in the mid to upper 80s, so it's going to be a little bit more comfortable as far as the temperatures are concerned. Dew points are still going to be elevated, so it's still going to feel a little humid, but I think this is a win overall for us on multiple fronts. One last thing before I let you go, because it's Friday night, and I like to keep it light, number one. Number two, I don't like to hold y'all too long. We are keeping an eye on the tropics. It's hurricane season, and I know that we haven't been talking about the tropics much. And the reason for it is because there's just not a whole lot going on. There is a lot of Saharan dust over the Atlantic basin, and the simplified answer or the simplified explanation is that Saharan dust essentially it chokes off tropical development is the best way to say that. It inhibits. It basically makes it very hard for things to get popping in the Atlantic basin or in any basin when you have Saharan dust. So that is working in our favor for everyone who is excited that there's not much happening in the tropics. This is the perfect time for all of these cruises. If you get online and you see a nice little deal to go out to the Caribbean next week, or in a week and a half from now, next weekend, you can swing it. I would recommend doing it because it looks like we'll be in this pattern at least probably for the next 7 to 15 days. The tropics look pretty quiet. So I'm going to go back to the 7-day forecast. I always say keep you for a good time, not a long time. And I'm going to take the 7-day full screen, even though we have increased the size of our 7-day, so that it's not hard to read. I still want to give you that full screen view so that you guys can soak up everything you need to know. To be quite frank, you see one day, you see them all because it's pretty much the same forecast. Temperatures in the mid to upper 80s with afternoon scattered rain and storms. But, of course, your first alert weather team is going to be on top of that. We're hoping for a bit of a change in the pattern for you. And as soon as we see it, you'll be the first to know. Y'all have a fantastic Friday. Have a great weekend.